Students say it's school spirit, but APS school leaders aren't very enthusiastic about it. Last week, El Dorado High School students threw up some orange powder that covered the student section during a football game against La Cueva. La Cueva students also did the same thing, only their powdery substance was in their school color. Now, the powder that the kids are using is usually made from cornstarch or flour. At least 3 students at El Dorado got in trouble for it.
I was removed from the stadium for throwing up the powder, and a couple other kids. It's something that the entire student body enjoys and that we all enjoy participating in, and it's just a shame that it's actually ridiculous that we don't get to do it anymore.
Here's the thing, El Dorado students were already warned about not doing it last month. APS says that they're worried about people breathing in the powder or it getting in people's eyes, not to mention the mess that it leaves behind. Bernalillo County Sheriff deputies arrest a man they say used a spy camera app to take inappropriate pictures of young girls, and now detectives are worried there could be more victims out there. Deputies arrested 35-year-old Chris Armijo Tuesday after they found child porn at his home near Albuquerque Academy. Investigators say Armijo was using apps called SpyCam and Gotcha to take pictures of people without them knowing. Deputies say the app turns your screen dark so that it is not obvious that a picture is being taken. In one instance, authorities say Armijo took up a picture of a girl, a 12-year-old girl, up her shorts. They are trying to identify that young girl.
When we confronted him about it, he did tell us, yeah, I used an app on the phone that takes secretive pictures without the other person knowing.
According to a criminal complaint, Armijo may have shared and downloaded more than 100 different images. He's being held on $30,000 cash or surety. An app like the one Armijo is accused of using is now prompting APS to send out a warning to parents. The school district is specifically asking parents to become familiar with the popular app called Snapchat and the privacy risks associated with it. The app allows users to take a picture or video from a smartphone. The sender then decides how many seconds the recipient has to look at the picture before the image is hidden and deleted. But recently, Snapchat has encountered some security problems. Last week, about 98,000 users had their videos or pictures leaked onto the internet. So here are some facts that we found about Snapchat. About 400 million photos or videos are sent each day through the app. The average Snapchat user receives 20 to 50 snaps per day. Half of all Snapchat users are 13 to 17 years old. A Belen man is waking up behind bars this morning. New Mexico State Police say Michael Marchese sexually assaulted 2 girls over the span of 3 years. They arrested Marchese Tuesday after a 7-week investigation. The 44-year-old will face 2 counts of sexual penetration of a minor, among other charges including child abuse. He is being held at the Valencia County Detention Center. The Rio Rancho School District says it plans to review its bus procedures, among other things, after a special needs student wanders away and becomes lost for a couple of hours. There was a massive search underway yesterday afternoon for 9-year-old Samuel Gavin. The special needs student was supposed to board a school bus when he wandered away from his teacher. It was a tense 2.5 hours of parents, police, school officials, and even fellow students searching for the boy. A teacher finally spotted him on the side of the road off of Paseo de Volcan near UNM Regional Medical Center, a very busy area, by the way. Police estimate that he walked for about 4 miles before he was actually spotted.
Regardless of how it happened, there are lessons to be gained from it. So we want to find out exactly how things occurred as the child was being taken to the bus, how the child made it to where they were.
Rio Rancho Public Schools says they will be reviewing everything from bus procedures to where security cameras are placed. The 9-year-old was not injured. Heads up, someone in Taos County is trying to pass themselves off as an employee for an electric company and trying to get your cash. Officials with Kit Carson Electric Cooperative say a man is pretending to be an employee. One customer even reported that the man went to his home in an unmarked truck. The man asked for cash to install fiber optic service. The company says crews installing such a service will not request cash, and they want to warn customers to not fall for the scheme. Federal officials say a salmonella outbreak 2 years ago means fewer peanuts will be harvested in New Mexico this season. The decrease is due to the Portales peanut processing plant that shut down following the 2012 nationwide salmonella outbreak. A Canadian company bought Sunland Peanut Plant in Portales. The new plant is not up and running yet, so there were no contracts this year to grow peanuts. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says New Mexico peanut farmers are expected to harvest about 30% less from last year. Farmers have been planting other crops to try and stay afloat. Health officials remain in the hot seat as more details emerge in the latest Ebola case here in the U.S. I want to show you a picture of Amber Vinson, the latest American to contract Ebola, being escorted into an ambulance. She'll be treated at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta. News out that the 29-year-old was cleared by the CDC to board a Frontiers airline from Cleveland to Dallas the day before she fell ill is fueling questions about how federal officials have been responding to the virus.
The person at the CDC looked at a chart and saw that she didn't officially meet the criteria for somebody at high risk because she didn't have a fever of 100.4 or above.
6 of the flight crew members are on paid leave for 21 days as they too are being monitored. Public health officials are notifying everyone who was on that flight. 2 students from Belton, Texas, who were on board were pulled out of class yesterday. The CDC is now saying anyone who is being monitored for exposure should not be allowed to undergo travel using public transport. Instead, only being allowed to travel by a charter plane or a car, for example. In just a few hours, Congress is expected to grill top public health officials and an executive from the Dallas hospital where the 2 nurses became infected with Ebola after treating the first Ebola patient who recently died of the illness. The hospital is expected to acknowledge that mistakes were made and address concerns over the protocols that medical workers use. Some prominent Republicans are calling for a ban on travel to West Africa, where the conditions are far worse. Right now, the White House says that is completely off the table. Beginning today, 4 more U.S. airports, major ones, will screen passengers arriving from West Africa for Ebola. We'll, of course, keep you posted on all of that and more on the Ebola scare. 5:08 is now the time. We have more recalls to tell you about this morning. We'll tell you what vehicles are being recalled, which ones are on the list coming up, and some bystanders on an Oregon beach get creative to pull off this incredible rescue. The video you don't want to miss just ahead. Good morning, I'm Elizabeth Alvarez. Here are your Thursday morning top stories. Students say it is school spirit, but APS school leaders are not very enthusiastic about it. Last week, El Dorado High School and La Cueva students threw up some powder in their school's colors that covered the student section during a football game. The powder that the kids are using is usually made of cornstarch or flour. At least 3 students at El Dorado got in trouble for it. They got detention. APS says they're worried about people breathing the powder in or it getting in people's eyes, not to mention all the mess that it leaves behind. Bernalillo County Sheriff deputies arrest a man they say used a spy camera app to take inappropriate pictures of young girls. Deputies arrested 35-year-old Chris Armijo Tuesday after they found child porn at his home, which is near Albuquerque Academy. Investigators say Armijo was using apps called SpyCam and Gotcha to take pictures of people without them knowing. Criminal complaint that we have states that Armijo may have shared and downloaded more than 100 different images. Well, you got a bit of a break during Balloon Fiesta. Now that Balloon Fiesta is long gone, get ready to see more construction projects. Construction projects that were put on hold during Fiesta are now back on before the cold weather hits. There are 3 big projects you need to know about. Of course, the Paseo I-25 project. There are ongoing closures, most of them happening this weekend. Another is near Coors and I-40. Over the next few days, crews will repave sections between Sequoia and St. Joseph's. And the third project, the exit ramps near Louisiana, will close at night for the next 5 days so that the state can inspect the road quality. It can be confusing, so we have a full list of all closures and projects on our website, krqe.com.